news. I mean, that's the thing about us. We don't have a show. So we go we go live at any time. This guy told me today, like, man, I love your show. I'm like, I got a show? I'm like, okay, man, I'm glad you like the show. I'll tell the executive producers to. Oh, man. It was crazy tonight, man. It was like, it was fun, but crazy. Guy was like, you know what you need? You need a female co host. Yeah, shoot, man. Get one of them bad bitches, man, that be on IG, and you gonna take off. You there. You sitting up there with the big boys. I'm like, yeah, big boys. It's gonna be me. I'm like, I don't want to sit up there with him. I'm happy on my couch. And give it up to real, but I'm just glad people get to see it and they understand what's going on, man. But I want to give a shout out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life, KB. He kept it 100, authentic, because he did something that other people wouldn't even allow other people to do. He was on Jason Whitlock's program called Fearless with Jason Whitlock. And they were talking about a subject, and when he was speaking about it, he says, shouts out to Carcino for life, because I saw this from Carcino. I've seen other countless people go on shows, use stuff from my video, won't give me an ounce of credit for it whatsoever. Not saying that I was begging for them to do it, but they tried to act like it was their own idea. And KB didn't do that. I wouldn't have been mad at him if he did do it. But the fact that he went out there and said, yo, shouts out to Carcino and Carcino for life, because I saw it on his channel and he brought it up. And it was genuine. Completely genuine. Not because he had to give me a shout out or nothing like that. No, he just kept it 100. Just all the way through. And we got to point things like that out, because most people don't even know how to be 100 no more, or just be authentic. Now, it's funny because I was directed to this. Like, me and KB, I had spoke to KB, and we never spoke about him being on Whitlock. I hadn't even seen it, because he never even put it in the title that KB was on the show. So I never saw this episode at all. And then somebody came in there and was like, yo, Jason Whitlock said your name. Him and KB was talking about you on the show. I'm like, I know that didn't happen. I know that just did not go down. That man will not say my name out his mouth at all. So now I'm talking about Whitlock. So I was like, wait a minute now. Like 4-5 people start saying, so I'm start thinking maybe this is some April Fool's stuff. I don't know what's going on, because I don't really do the April Fool's stuff, man. I mean, when we was younger, yeah, but I'm like, I'm too grown for this now. You know, I can't trust what nobody's saying no more. Hey, what's up, Mr. 86K? Yeah, so when this whole thing was going down on this episode, I'm listening to it for the first time tonight. And what I'm hearing, because I'm working on the Patreon right now, and I'm like, well, let me stop to check this out. So I stop, I check it out. I said, oh my God. This dude, he's not really listening to anything Kwame Brown is saying. Jason Whitlock isn't. He's not paying any attention, really. What he's doing is waiting for his turn to speak. If this is a prime example of just trying to get someone to go along with an agenda you got in place, and taking information and stretching it to a whole new plateau. Now he went from Charlemagne's old case back when he was doing like radio. He wasn't even on the Breakfast Club then, and stretched that all the way into now into some gigantic sex cult. I mean, really, he just goes all over the board, and he's trying to use Kwame Brown as the impetus of the whole thing. The one who, like, you brought this up, like, you started this when you went out to Charlemagne, and I'm like, why is he throwing this on KB? This has been his whole thing. I mean, yeah, he's connected to these people in Hollywood and all that, but now you've gone to sex cults and all this stuff. He was just in there spinning. And when Kwame Brown laid out all this powerful information, again, there's no reply to the information. He turns the conversation back to the topic he wanted to talk about. He didn't have no response, no reply to anything Kwame Brown said that made a whole lot of sense. He had no feedback, nothing. It's just, I want to take us to this, to Stephen A. Smith and back to his book. I'm like, oh my God, you just heard what this man said? That was gold. He just laid it out for you, and it was poor. In my estimations, what they were talking about, it just got poor. This is when someone has an agenda and they're not really having a conversation with you. They're not. They're just stating their agenda and wanting you to basically back up that agenda that they got. This is not a real conversation. So if you're not going to engage with the person you're interviewing, then I don't know how you could consider this even an interview. This is like somebody trying to lead the witness, and KB is just telling it like it is. He ain't going along with the smoke.
And if you're not involved in that, you can't be empowered.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Carcino for life. Shout out to Carcino. He talked about who all controls the music industry. And I will have to say on that part, Kanye was right. Everybody from who's anything in music is white. And then Carcino added another part to it. They're white and a part of the LGBT community. So is that the reason why they have most of the women so hypersexual? Because that's not going to lead to relationships. And they have most of the men extra effeminate because it's confusing. I didn't grow up with men that were purses. If you were a man, you didn't do that. If you identified as something else, you did that, but not saying that you're a heterosexual man and still doing things that women do. So that's where all the confusion comes from.
And that's true. So that's why I was like, man, shouts out to KB, man. But this man's like comebacks is like, it's just ridiculous. He has it's like he's reading off a teleprompter and he goes right to the next questions that he got. And even now, he has no, look, even when KB is saying all this.
Music, we had one or two artists that did what they did, but now all of our music is trash. I can't sit in the car with my daughters and listen to the radio because they're humming the words, and I know they understand what the real words are. Just because you blurt out one little part, they know what the real words are, and it's just making these kids hypersexual. I don't get it.
Okay, now he just finished. He said he don't get it. Now let's see, will he build on this? Let's see where Whitlock goes with this.
Last part of this on.
He has no response to anything KB just said. Last thing on this, he's going to a whole nother subject.
Just a different level, and this is where I started the show today. Is I like Steph Curry.
He gone to Steph Curry. He had no response. He had no feedback to any of the replies Kwame Brown has said on the entire show. No feedback. Like it's just like he didn't hear him. Yeah, he had a set plan on where he wanted to go. So if he said, if I got a problem with him, this is why we got a problem with you. This is why you're not authentic, bro. You're not. You're not real. You're not for us. You're not for the people. You're a puppet. So you can never be for the people if you can't even be your own man. I can't respect you. You put down any black athlete who's doing something positive or anything. You want to tear them down to appease white conservatives. That is not somebody I look up to. That's not somebody I respect. Just to fit an agenda. I mean, there was no comeback. There's no connection. There's no conversation. He's just going to the next question, to the next question, to the next question, to the next question. And it's like no reply. He just says what he says, and then Kwame responds to what he says, and then he doesn't even have anything to go back with. He just goes on to the next question. I'll just be like, is this done? We done? Okay, I'm out of here. Take that. I don't want to have nothing to do with this guy. I don't care about his views. He can have all the views in the world. Somebody views, like I keep telling y'all, that stuff don't mean anything to me. Views don't matter. Principles matter. You know how much money I've walked away from because of principle? If I had no damn principles, I'll be right now rolling. Multi-millionaire. But I can't do that. It's not in me to be that type of person. I know I couldn't live with myself, knowing I was doing something that I'm against. If my family look at me in disgust at what I do, and I know I definitely am doing something that I can't even show my face for, that wouldn't sit right with me. I did not go my whole life on codes and principles to throw it away for money. I can't do it. There's no way. I'm too me for that. Can't do it. I don't say LeBron suck or I think he a bum and all this because I'm trying to get hits and views. I'm saying it because I actually goddamn believe it. When I said Isaiah Thomas is the greatest player to ever play in the NBA, I didn't say that because I was just trying to get hits and views. I've been saying that mine since the 90s, the 80s and 90s. Just wasn't no YouTube and y'all just didn't hear me. But the people around me, they heard it. They heard it their entire damn life from me. So I believe it. I say what I believe. So that's it. Well, there's always these themes. As long as you got these themes and these agenda-based, like there's a lot of issues that, like topics that me and Jason Whitlock will be in total agreement with. You know, we'll both agree on a certain topic. We'll both agree something about Joe Biden. We'll both agree on something, but we're agreeing from different point of views. His is mostly agenda-based. Mine is on a standard base, a principle base. I'm not doing it to appease anybody else. That's the difference. And when his masters decide that that's not the avenue that they're with and that person is now against, then he has to atone himself to be against. I'm not like that. Like, I'm not the type of person to say, hey, KB, what you doing over there talking to Whitlock? You know, he's his own man. He could talk to him 1,000 times. Right, he's a grown man. He can do what he want to do. But I appreciate him keeping it real, 10 toes down on the show. I know Whitlock can play the victim all night long. He knows why I don't like him. It's very clear. I just stated it again here. It's all about principle, codes, and morals. But if I feel you don't have any, then you just doing something to appease white conservatives, then that don't, to me, you're not aligned right. So I don't get down with people like that. Even if we agree on a subject. It's like Candace Owens or somebody. I can't sit down with you. What would I want to talk to you for? You're not for us or the people or the betterment for blacks, or you don't care. You're trying to appease white conservatives. So why that doesn't fit me. So I don't see a point in having a conversation with Whitlock. That's the only thing. What would the conversation be about? The man disrespected Stuart Scott, Deion Sanders, any black man that's trying to ascend to the top, right? And their own man, and doing it the right way, he want to try to take a stab at and tear down. So, no. Yeah, I'm quite sure we both don't like LeBron, but we don't like LeBron for probably different reasons. His reasons is because white conservatives don't like him, because LeBron be sticking up for the Democrats, right? I'm coming at him from a basketball perspective, and the fact of him playing politics on and off the court. I have a problem with that. He's messing up my game that I love. And I want him out the game. So we have two different, all his stuff about LeBron got nothing to do with basketball. So we have two different perspectives. So we don't even, that's what I'm saying. We are not aligned alike at all. So it's like we are not alike. So that's just it. No, me and Whitlock are not alike. We might agree on some things, but we are definitely not even close. But shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life, respect. Shouts out to welcome to HD, IITV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, Armando, Black TV. I'm out the door, y'all. Peace. Talk to y'all later. I'm getting back to the Patreon. Take me a quick nap, bounce up, get back to it.